Okay, so here we are inside of our ads manager. Quick way to get here is adsmanager.facebook.com. You can just bookmark that on your browser. So we've got our audiences set up and we have an ad ready to go. So now we're going to click on this green create button here and we're going to create a new campaign. You can leave the buying type as auction, but we are going to change the campaign objective to be leads. So click on that and then go ahead and click continue. So it's going to default to this tailored leads campaign, which is kind of like a cheat code shortcut version that Facebook, it's basically like boosting posts. So I'm not a huge fan of that one. And doing the manual leads campaign setup is really not difficult. So we are going to go with that one because we want to have the most amount of control over our campaigns. So change that to manual leads campaign and click continue. Okay, so here we are just going to give our campaign a name, and we may have to declare special ad categories depending on your business. But for what we're normally doing, which is restaurants, we don't have to. So I named the campaign Free Iced Coffee. There's no special ad categories for a restaurant to declare, but if you want to go through them, just have an understanding. If your ad has anything to do with credit, employment, housing, social issues, then you could have to declare ahead of time that that's what your advertising for. But we don't have to worry about that. So we're going to leave all the rest of this as it is, except actually we want to turn off this Advantage campaign budget. We're going to turn that off because we're going to set our budget at the next level down, which is going to be our ad set, which is also where our audience will be selected as well. So go ahead, turn off this here. So the only changes you're making on this first part here in the campaign is literally just naming the campaign, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to call this one Free Iced Coffee because that's the name of the offer. And then the only thing else, you want to make sure both of these are off. And go ahead and click next. So now we are at the ad set level. The ad set level is where we determine a few different things. Well, first off, let's change the name of this. So for this first ad set, I'm going to name it the audience that I'm going to be using. So in this case, I'm going to call it lookalike. And then what I like to do is do one of these guys. I'm not even sure what they're called. And then I want to do the name of the ad I'm going to be using. So in this case, I'm just going to call this Free Iced Coffee Image 1. And you can come up with your own way for organizing the campaign ad sets and ad naming conventions, but I think this is a pretty simple way to keep track of it. So conversion location, we're going to leave it at instant forms because we want to collect the user's information right on Facebook. I don't want to send them to another website and hope that they put their information on there. I want to just keep them on Facebook and get their name and phone number in as with the least amount of friction as possible. So make sure this is selected for instant forms. Make sure you've got the proper Facebook page selected here. So I would actually be changing this one to your local foodies. So whichever, you'll probably only have one option, but because I've managed a bunch of different accounts just from this account, I've got too many in there. So make sure you set the proper Facebook page. You can leave performance goal at maximum number of leads. That's fine. Leave this cost per result goal blank. You don't need to mess with that. Just leave it in there. Dynamic creative, don't worry about that just yet. Daily budget. So this is where you are going to decide how much you want to spend each day on your ads. I would recommend, you can spend as much as you want. I'd recommend starting with like $10 a day. Depending on the cost per lead that you're getting, that $10 could get you anywhere from 5 to 20 new contacts added to your list every single day. So it'll probably fluctuate up and down, but we've had the average new contact is under $2, and we've had plenty of campaigns get them for consistently for 50, 60 cents. So either way, there's a lot of room for ROI when you're getting them that cheaply. So next thing we're going to do here is schedule. So for the start date, what I normally like to do is just change the time from whatever time it is right now and just bump it up like a few hours. Or maybe if you're not ready to run this till next week, you can get it set up now and set it to start at a future date. But that's where you would go ahead and do that. You could change the date here. You could change the time. I'm not actually going to be launching this ad because it's a test, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. And then if you want to, you can actually set an end date. So say you're like, okay, I only want to run this for a week and I want to see what the results are. You can make sure your start date and your end date are a week apart. And that way you can make sure that you've got a really measured idea of how much you're spending and how much you're getting your leads for. But I normally just let ads go ongoing. And if I want to turn them off, I turn them off. But that is another option. So audience controls. So locations, you're obviously going to want to change to just be your area. So I'm going to change that to reflect the area of Delray Beach because that is where the center location of where we're trying to have this ad be seen. And I'm going to do, I think 25 miles is kind of a lot. I'm going to bump it down to like 15. So now this is supposed to be our lookalike audience. So what we're going to do is under this Advantage Plus Audience section, we're going to come in here and click Audience Suggestion. And under Custom Audiences, we'll click in here, click under Lookalike Audiences, and then you can choose from any of your lookalike audience that you have built out. So we can just use this customers one. And that's it. And then if you need to change the age, you can change the age, the genders. I wouldn't worry about any of the detail targeting. If you're using the lookalike audience, just let that be. And then I would leave this Advantage Plus placements on. And then that is it for the audience section. So we're going to hit next. And this is where we get to the actual ad. So first thing we're going to do is name the ad. So what I like to do for the ad name is basically the opposite of the name of the ad set where the audience lives. So I'm actually going to jump. If I just click here, I can jump back into there. I'm going to copy this name and I'm going to name it the same thing, but in opposite order. Oh, I don't need this last part here. So now when I look at the ad name, I'll know which ad it is and I'll know which ad set it's associated with. So now we've got Facebook pages already selected. If your Instagram is connected to your Facebook, which it probably is, you'll be able to just select that. I don't have one connected to this one because it's a test account. And I don't want to go ahead and connect it right now during the video. But your Instagram account, you should easily be able to connect that and just choose it from here. It'll be able to run on Instagram regardless, even if you don't have that selected. It just won't be able to, people won't be able to visit your profile if you don't have it connected through here. But the ad will still show up and you'll still be able to get leads from Instagram, even if your Instagram account's not connected on here. But you should have it connected just so then people can go to your profile and follow you and things like that. Okay, so now we're actually going to upload the ad that we created in the last video. So we're going to leave it as single image or video ad. And all we're going to do is come down here to add creative and click on media and click add media. I'm going to add image. So then all you've got to do is just like we dragged those images over previously from the File Explorer, you're just going to click on Upload and then drag that image from earlier right in there, the free iced coffee one. There we go. And then click on Next. So this is going to show you the different placements of how the ad will show up. So the square one is going to be what it's in majority of the time. So you can see that one fits perfectly. The vertical one, what it'll do is it'll just center the image right in the middle of there. And then up here, there will be some kind of headline or whatever we put in there for kind of a little bit more of a hook on top of the image. You can see if you change it to 9/16, it's going to spread it out through the whole, like the whole image will get expanded, and you can't even see what it says. So just leave it at original. Same thing for search results. Just leave it at original so you can see everything. Click next. I leave all the optimizations turned on. I think Facebook wants you to get more leads because then you'll spend more ads if you're getting more leads. So I think they do, use their algorithms and AI and all that stuff to help us out to get more and cheaper leads. So I just leave all of it turned on. So now that we're done with that, just go ahead and click done. All right, and then you see we've got our little Facebook ad starting to come to life right here. So now we got to add a little bit of text on this thing. So we're going to scroll down. We've got 3 different sections. We've got primary text, headline, and description. So for the primary text, that's what's going to be shown above the ad when it's being shown in the news feed. So I'm going to add my primary text in here. Just says, get a free iced coffee on your next visit. And then I added some emojis in there. I've seen pretty good results using emojis. If you want to use any yourself, the website I use is Emojipedia. And I'll leave a link somewhere on the screen or down below for that as well. I'm going to add a little space in there. And as you can see, as I update this, the preview over on the right-hand side here will update as well. So we can see this is what it'll look like when it's in the news feed. And if you click on the see more, that's where you'll see the little emojis. So next we're going to add in a headline. The headline is going to be similar to the primary text, but we definitely want it to be a call to action. So I'm just going to put get this offer right now. And then for the description's not even going to show up in every single placement. If you hover over this, it'll show you that it only appears in some placements and its position will vary. But we're going to still throw something in there, something short, sweet, to the point, very similar to the other stuff. It's just going to say redeem this offer via text. And you can see down here, it did pop this in right here. I want to change this instead of sign up. You can leave it at sign up. Sign up would totally work, but I like to normally change it to get offer. And then from there, this ad, as far as what the users online are going to see, this ad is pretty much complete. If you want to look and see what it's going to look like in the Instagram feed versus the Facebook feed or on a story, you can see it here. So it's going to look a little bit different in all of the placements, but it's still going to have all of the same characteristics as the original ad we set up. So we're done with that part. Next thing we're going to do is create a form. So to create a form, you probably won't have any forms listed here. All you're going to do is click on Create Form. We're going to give the form a title. You can just name it Form Number 1, or you can name it after your restaurant. Anything that helps you to decide what it is, but it's going to be a very simple form, so don't overthink it. So for this one, I'm just going to call it Jupiter Donuts. I'm going to leave it at more volume. And then for the intro, you can just use it. You can leave the use the image from your ad. That's fine. If you want to use Canva to create a different image, you could do that as well. Maybe you want to just show a picture of the outside of your business, or maybe you want to show a staff photo or a different picture of your food or your menu. You could do anything you want. Just upload a different image here. It gives you the pixel size 1200 by 628, so you could easily go back into Canva and just create a custom size photo with those dimensions, and then upload whichever photo you'd like. And just like we did when creating the ad, you could just set that picture to be the background image, crop it around a little bit, and then upload it to here just by clicking on upload image. But I normally just leave it as use the image from your ad. So now we're going to add a headline and a short description. So for the headline, I'm just going to put in something simple: get a free iced coffee and other awesome deals. For the description, I normally leave it as paragraph, but if you wanted to list specific offers that you might have, you could do that here. That would probably work really well. I normally just leave it as a short little paragraph. So let me go ahead and just copy that in here. It says, we'll send you a text that you can display in order to redeem your offer. You'll receive future offers as well, to which you can opt out at any time by replying stop. So now we're going to go down to questions. So we don't need to add any custom questions. We're going to go down to pre-fill questions. And the first thing we've got to do is enter in the description. Let people know how the information they give you will be used or shared. So for this, I like to put, make sure to use your mobile number so we can text you your offer. And then what we're going to do is come down here, and I'm actually going to get rid of email by hitting this little trash can icon here. And if you want to keep full name, you can. What I normally do, because we really don't need their full name, I'll X off both of them, and I'm going to add category. I'm going to go to contact fields, and I'm going to come down to, actually no, user information, and I'm going to come down to first name. Then I'm going to do another one, add category, contact fields, and phone number. And that's the only thing we want, is their name and their phone number. So if you come over to privacy, it says, because you'll be collecting customer information, you need to include a link to your company's privacy policy. Your link will appear with Facebook's default privacy disclaimer. So if you have a custom-built privacy policy for your company already, you can put in the URL for that. But what I'll normally do is just put in the URL of the company, and that's never not worked for me. So if you've got one, that's great. But I normally just put in the company's website, and that's fine. And then for link text, you can just put privacy policy. For a custom disclaimer, you don't need to do that. So then we go down to the completion section, and then I normally just leave the headline as thanks, you're all set. And then you can visit our website or exit the form now. So if you want, you can leave it as that and then just have a link again to the website. Or if you want to try to get people to call, you can change it, the call to action button, from view website to call business, and then you just put your phone number in there. So now that we've got that set up, all we've got to do is come down bottom right here, click on create form. And if it's your only form, it'll automatically default to choosing that form. And if you have multiple forms, then you just have to make sure that the little blue circle is selected on the one that you want to use. And that's it, guys. Now we're just going to go ahead and hit publish. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to link up your Facebook's ads account with our software Nurture so that we can get those text campaigns up and going as soon as possible. All right, I'll see you in the next video.